Hello, welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we have some big news regarding Final Fantasy XIV. I'm also recording this live right now on stream, so if you're wondering why I sometimes talk to some people of my community or try to answer some questions, I'm not alone here. But let's focus on the news, shall we? During a recent hands-on preview for the upcoming Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker expansion, director Naoki Yoshida actually was talking about how successful the game was and how many players they now have. And just to give you a little bit of a recap, when in 2015 Final Fantasy XIV's player count was by 4 million. That number then hit 10 million by Stormblood, which was released in 2017. And now, well, now it has apparently reached 24 million players. Yep, 24 million players it is now. And Naoki Yoshida says, "You all know just how hard things were for us when the original Final Fantasy XIV was launching. Since then, we are able to transform the title into one that provides a major contribution to our company profits." And he's also adding that Final Fantasy XIV is now the most profitable Final Fantasy game in the series. It is perhaps unbecoming of me to say, but in terms of our business, we've been able to achieve great success. Moving forward, we're going to spare no expense with our investments to ensure that this game continues to be one which our players can enjoy. That's what he is adding to that. So yeah, they have basically, in the last 4 years, doubled their sub count, or even more than doubled it, like from 10 millions to 24 millions. In how old is the game now? 8 years? I think the game is now over 8 years old. And that's just remarkable. Especially when you think about it, a game like World of Warcraft had, like, what was it, 14 million or 50 million players at the peak. And from there on, it was basically just downhill. Whereas Final Fantasy over the last 8 years was just going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. There is no down for this game, which is crazy to say the least. And also it now became the most profitable Final Fantasy game in the series, which is also really impressive, especially because there have been a lot of Final Fantasy games which just made a lot of money. Like, especially the Final Fantasy VII remake made a lot of money for Square. And even the infamous Final Fantasy like 13 games made them a lot of cash together. So seeing this game being now the number one Final Fantasy game and also has 24 million players, it's just exciting. And that's fantastic. So I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really happy to hear that. And that is one of the reasons why I'm still playing Final Fantasy. Like, where in World of Warcraft, just to echo what Naoki Yoshida said here, in World of Warcraft, I have often or not reached a point where I asked myself, why do I give you $13 a month? Why do I do that? For what? I don't really feel like I'm getting anything back from that. Like, where's the reinvestment into World of Warcraft? And I think the big dead end for me was Warlords of Draenor. Like, before Warlords of Draenor, I was already like debating if I really don't want to play this game anymore, if I don't want to give them money anymore, because I feel like I'm not really getting anything out of it. But then Warlords of Draenor came around, and they released Gul'dan, which was like the last big boss fight in the expansion. And people were like, yeah, okay, cool, we defeated Gul'dan. The next expansion is coming out in over a year. So when's the next patch? The next patch? Yeah, the next patch. It's still over a year before we see the new expansion. Oh, you mean the pre-patch before the expansion is coming out? No, the next content patch for Warlords of Draenor. But we have no patch. There's nothing coming. You have to wait till the expansion. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? You're telling me in an MMO where I'm paying $13 a month that for over a year you will not have any new content coming our way? Okay, somebody doesn't want my money, period. Like that was the last straw which broke my back in the day. And I was just like, yeah, no thanks. And like Final Fantasy has been delivering stable patches ever since. Alright, this year they struggled a little bit. Like I think this year we only got one patch. And now we're waiting for the big expansion. Right? But like the main reason for that was the big expansion plus COVID. Like COVID was the biggest problem for them. And we still got a patch. Like thankfully this time it was only 6 months without any new content, which is still a lot. Like normally we are still getting like three content patches in Final Fantasy XIV, even though a new expansion is coming. But this time, because of COVID and all that, they didn't manage to do that, which I can understand. But with World of Warcraft, back in the day, there was no COVID. They literally didn't give us new content for a year because, well, we don't know. They probably moved all their people away from the project and only a handful of people worked on the expansion or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad to see that Final Fantasy is getting recognized. Let's be real here. The escapades of Blizzard Entertainment in the last few months probably didn't help to keep the people playing World of Warcraft. And they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's finally test out that Final Fantasy XIV everyone is talking about. You know, so I can totally see that was also a reason. Now, with that said, we are done here with the news. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you are on your way out, I would appreciate if you might consider to leave a like. If you didn't like this video for whatever reason, well, the dislike button is right next to it. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more gaming news, tips and tricks for new games, reaction videos for upcoming gaming events, and many, many more of the whole gaming shebang, I would also appreciate if you might subscribe to the channel. If you do so, please don't forget to click on the bell icon, because if you don't do that, you will never get notified when I upload a new video, and what's the point in subscribing to the channel then, right? It's like you want to get notified when there's a new video up. And if you ever want to catch me live, you can do so from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. East Coast time, which is 2 p.m. UK time, and 3 p.m. Central European time at trovo.live/ChaosMole. Thank you so much for watching. Hope I see you next time. Stay safe.